I will show you next one now.
When you talk hypertension, when you talk hormonal imbalance, there's a lot of products, but then again, we're getting stuff just according to you, when you're a business owner, you have more faith than the church people.
Yeah, for sure.
So we live there?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So a pleasant good evening to everyone. Yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. And this is one of many of our Sunday evenings question and answer, where we ensure that we provide information for you guys. I know you would realize that we're missing from some radio programs, but that is deliberate in the sense that we actually, making some changes and organizing certain things. So we are here. We are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. And on TikTok, we are Batson and Associates. Let me say a pleasant good evening on our Instagram, Batson and Associates TT. We have Scorpio Power 82 has joined us. Walking in Favor 15 has also joined us. Kyle Cave 9210 has joined us. Mr. Solo has also joined us. Island Kid has also joined us as well. So a pleasant good evening to you guys. Today, or this evening rather, we'll be discussing hypertension. So I would speak about specific issues as we get into the live. And of course, based on the questions that is asked, I will try my best to answer your questions as quick as possible. Please ensure that you do we do provide as much answers as we can. Okay, guys, don't wait too long to ask the questions. Like when we're almost ready to come to finish the live, we will be going anywhere between an hour and a half. Most likely, I believe, I would do up to like about an hour and a half, God's willing, right? So let me say, of course, a pleasant good evening as well on our Facebook. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss Felicia James. Miss Jennifer Valentine, my dear, always a pleasure. Eartha Young, I know you and I are supposed to talk about something, Miss Valentine, but just in the process of getting certain things done. Mr. Christopher Samuel, good night to you, sir. Miss Vidya Abdul, Miss Julia Harewood, Kells Hutch, as well as Miss Kamala Samaru. Good evening, guys. So today we're discussing hypertension. Let me also say as well, there are some products that we are missing, but we are assiduously working on correcting that situation for you guys. One or two little challenges that a lot of people having, not us alone, but God's willing, we're going to rectify those shortly and have things like your Santulan. We got back iOptics formula in stock. We have our teas coming in the very near future as well. We also have additional products that we used to carry before, which we're going to start back getting, like the advanced circulation, which is the liquid circulation product. That circulation regeneration tea that was it was excellent and experimental in the sense that we may only have done we may have gotten like maybe about I believe about 150, maybe 175, or could be 200. But everyone who used that circulation regeneration tea, which was primarily designed for hypertension, got exceptionally good results. So I can't wait for us to get that back in stock. Miss Ingrid Hannibal, a pleasant good night to you. Miss Julia Harewood, good night to you as well. Yeah, so that circulation regeneration tea was primarily designed for dealing with hypertension. So when we're speaking about hypertension, what are we talking about? Are there different types of hypertension? Is there primary hypertension, or what rather is primary hypertension, as well as what is secondary hypertension? And, at Batson and Associates, what exactly do we do as practitioners from a nutritional perspective to really address diseases? And that's fundamentally what Batson and Associates is, and what Batson and Associates represent, and what I myself represent as it relates to medicine. Where just recently I had a client who came to me who had some interesting issues, like so many persons who come to us. And she said that one of the things that she actually looked at was finding a functional medicine doctor. And I had heard about functional medicine, but I never really researched it, and realized that when I did research it, it has a lot, or is very much like what I do, like what we do at Batson and Associates, where it is functional in the sense that we do not only treat the symptomology, because a lot of the time the symptomology is a greater or represents a issue or a primary issue that is now causing a secondary response, and the secondary response is your symptomology, if you get what I'm saying. So it's always a matter of actually dealing with the root cause of the problem. So based on our discussion this evening, where we're speaking about hypertension, so what does it mean to be hypertensive? So hypertensive or hypertension in layman terms mean you have elevated blood pressure. What is blood pressure? So blood pressure is measured in two specific numbers. You have the top number, which is your systolic, and you have the lower number, which is your diastolic, right? Systolic pressure is supposed to be anywhere in the vicinity of maybe about 120, 130, whereas your diastolic is supposed to be ideally not too much over 80. If you get about 85, 90, we could live with that. But anytime it starts to go higher than that, it is concerning because it is serious or represents serious strain and imbalance in the cardiovascular system, in the circulatory system, right? So with primary hypertension, for example, so primary hypertension or secondary hypertension rather is hypertension which has a primary cause. So, for example, someone could have serious gastrointestinal problems. So they have issues where they are severely constipated. So as a result of being severely constipated, which significantly shows some sort of imbalance. It doesn't necessarily have to be only hydration, but a lot of persons who are constipated as a result of not consuming sufficient amounts of water. That's one. Two, they consume too much coffee, which is a diuretic, which means it causes your body to lose sodium, and then water leaves the body after it follows sodium. So hence it is a diuretic, and it could cause serious problems with dehydration. So in a case like that with constipation, it also is an indication of an autonomic nervous system. You have your autonomic nervous system, which comprises of parasympathetic, sympathetic. Your autonomic nervous system is what controls bowel movement. It controls you going and having a number two. So if you're having constipation problems, it could also be a neurological problem. And a lot of people don't know that, which is why sometimes persons who have experienced strokes, whether it's ischemic or hemorrhagic strokes, have experienced issues where they had constipation subsequent to the stroke. Good. So it is very important if you are hypertensive to really mind your business, pay attention to your figures. I always tell persons it's vitally important that if you are hypertensive, that you should have a blood pressure monitor and monitor your blood pressure on a daily basis, especially in the initial aspects of being diagnosed, the initial aspect of actually understanding that you are hypertensive. One of the serious issues that a lot of persons have is that they have been hypertensive for years. They have even been diabetic for years and not came to the clear realization that they are in fact diabetic. And as a result of being a diabetic now, or as a result of being hypertensive for so many years and not being aware, you have significant damage that has been done to the body. The blood vessels are damaged, you have serious circulation problems, you have serious neuropathy problems, which is nerve damage as a result of poor circulation. So, it's a matter of finding out, and that is something we do at Batson and Associates. I mean, a lot of persons don't understand, excuse me, when you're looking at this whole aspect of integrative medicine, where we do the blood analysis, we do the magnetic resonance analysis scan, which I have significant respect for, together with whatever tests that you may have. Sometimes we may send you for additional testing, like if we need to determine inflammation in the body, we will send you to do something known as an ESR, which is a erythrocyte sedimentation ratio test, which indicates levels of inflammation in the body. So, i.e., if you are someone who have a lot of arthritis, you might be rheumatoid arthritis, you might be psoriatic arthritis, you may maybe osteoarthritis, and you have a lot of pain, joint pain, knee pain, back pain, pain all over the place. It means that you have a high inflammatory response in the body. So the question is, what is your ESR? How does your blood work look? If we do a live blood analysis, and would we see issues where you have lipids, undigested lipids, where you have undigested protein, which you can see in a blood sample under a live high-powered microscope where we do live blood microscopy. So if you have undigested lipids, you definitely have a cardiovascular problem. You may have a cholesterol problem. You may have a triglyceride problem. You may have a liver problem. A lot of persons now actually having problems with fatty liver. And a lot of people do not know that if you have fatty liver, you're 2 minutes from cirrhosis of the liver. There are some persons who believe that if you have fatty liver, that is not dangerous. That's nonsense. Serious nonsense. You're going to be in some problems if you have a fatty liver and leave it alone. It is going to cause serious harm to you, especially the cardiovascular system as it relates to the building up of plaque and triglycerides and your body's inability to actually metabolize fat properly. Hence the undigested lipids in the blood sample. Good, let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss Cheryl Cooper, Miss Evita Byron, Miss Cindy Hoyt. Well, good night, Doc and team. Happy and healthy Sunday to everyone. It's been a while. Yes, my dear. I'm busy, assiduously doing a number of things, including trying to make sure that I get all your products back up to the stock level that is supposed to, right? Raymond John, good evening to you, sir. Miss Daphne Charles, a pleasant good evening to all. Okay, so let me see here. There's someone is asking. This is serious but collective. When next will Uterine Plus be in stock? Good evening. Good evening. We actually have uterine stock we actually have uterine formula, in stock, right? We also have our advanced chlorophyll. We have our silver formula, especially with those persons, which I'll talk about in a little bit with the Sahara dust. The Sahara dust is crazy. It's madness. I don't know how people who are asthmatics and have sinusitis actually work it out. Because people like, I am not an asthmatic. I do not suffer from sinusitis. But if you notice, when I'm speaking, you're hearing a slight congestion. And that's because of the dust. This dust is ridiculous. It's really bad. So, I'm being more assiduous now, because I interact with a number of persons. The usual mask, I'll be honest, I really don't like the mask that they have. I have to actually use special type masks to breathe properly, especially when I have to speak. The amount of speaking that I do, that breathing in other carbon dioxide is not, I feel sick instantaneously. If I have on a mask in about 2 minutes of speaking, I feel sick. Right? So I have to get, an even better one, but I always do things with my silver and silver gel and whatnot, which I put in my nostrils, I'll spray in my throat to try my best to not get this very terrible virus that it has, or at least not get it again. Good. So, even me with because I consider myself to be very healthy. I have an excellent immune system. I mean, when I have done my last physicals, it was, top of the chain. Really good figures, echocardiogram, those type of things. But it's just a matter of, the cold affects or can affect a number of us. So, if you're looking at boosting your immune system, give Batson and Associates a check, give us a call. Miss Curly Fleury, always a pleasure to have you. She's actually in Brooklyn. Brooklyn is in the house. Pleasant good evening to you. Rolania. Rolani, yeah, good. Says good afternoon. Okay. Cindy Hoyt. Doc, what about using a neti pot? It's excellent. I'm actually have to get back one. Mine broke. I actually need to get a next one. That's one of my orders that I'm actually waiting on. Because it actually helps where you could actually use those things and actually get use the saline and wash out your nose, do the rinses. You could actually do the steams as well, because it's very important to really do with that. Miss Gloria Thomas Lois saying good night, Dr. Batson. Did you all get eye drops? Yes, we do have eye optics formula in stock. Miss Evita Byron says, what is the treatment for fatty liver? The person is hypertensive, they do not drink, and their cholesterol is good. Treatment for fatty liver, I normally recommend, because fatty liver is an inflammatory condition. It is actually an inflammation of the liver. So it means that if you have high levels of inflammation anywhere in the body, that is usually where, excuse me, that's usually where you find that uh, the liver becomes fatty. And as a result of that, when we usually have our teas in stock, we carry a liver tea. We also have our nutrient dense greens formula, apart from the advanced chlorophyll. That works very good for the fatty liver as well. But we would do a protocol for you because each person's we are the same, but we essentially different, depend on the extent of how fatty the liver is. Right? The person is hypertensive, so we're going to have to do some work on the cardiovascular system. The minerals may be a bit out as well, so we're going to have to look at that as well. Miss Julia Harewood said, Doc, are you a vegetarian? No, I am not. I do eat meat. Primarily, I eat more fish than meat, but I'll use chicken, turkey. Um, Certain instances, I would use beef, but that's very rare, and it has to be ground beef, that type of thing, right? Miss Anne Marie Bob says, "Good evening, everyone." Miss Suzette Dempster. She says, "Good night, all. Haven't listened to you in a while now." Okay, good, no problem. Welcome. Miss Cindy Hoyt says, "Honey, be my dear. Class is in session. Where are you?" Yeah, honey, be missing in action, boy. Cindy, you're wrongs up your bad girls. Let me say again a pleasant good afternoon. Keep in mind we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. And on TikTok, we are Batson and Associates. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. And this is our Sunday evening program, where we are actually discussing um hypertension and various health issues. So keep in mind it is question and answer. So if you do have questions, feel free to ask a question. Miss Jennifer Franken is saying, when will Santulan be in Tobago? Santulan, my dear, is going to be in Tobago as soon as we get our hands on it, God's willing, which should be very, very soon. So just listen, if your name is down, I suggest you call the office and let the office know so that when we get in stock, they're going to make sure and call you. Miss Helen Akili, she's good evening to you, my dear. Miss Shireen Jack, good evening, blessings, Dr. Batson. Thank you so very much. Tobago, of course, you'll be seeing us, God's willing, in March. Again, just dotting our I's and crossing our T's as regards to certain things, and ensuring, because, we have a lot on our plate. I myself have a lot on my plate right now, as regards to our clients. Let me say, of course, a special good evening to our team who continue to work so well. Our consultants, Miss Ramdan, Mr. Vialva, Mr. Bastamanti, Mr. Green. A pleasant good evening to you guys. Our administrative staff, front desk, Miss Sasha, who actually celebrated her birthday recently. I think it was Saturday. So happy belated birthday to you, my dear. Always working hard there. Our front desk staff, Miss LaShawn Hills, Miss Robinson, of course, Miss Eleanor in St. James there, Miss Roma, and Miss Budram, Miss Donna Budurada in our daily office, as well as Tobago Latoya. So our team working really hard, Miss Marshall, Mr., the whole team. Mr. Why I forgetting your name, boy? Mr. Wilson. Right, guys. Pleasant good evening to Miss Nicola Hood, who is always joining us out in Antigua, right, my dear? Miss Susan Q says herbs. What about herbs, my dear? Miss Susan Debster said, "Did any Santulan Slim as yet?" Santulan Slim is actually on the waiting list as well, my dear. Uh, but that we'll have shortly. A lot of really good teas coming for you guys. If it's one thing, people who know me, um, know that I am very thorough in what I do. I like nice things, and I like when I'm providing things for people that they get high quality nice things, right? Because as I always tell persons, you have thing for thing. And that's just a colloquial way of saying that, every ailment in the body, there is something from a nutritional perspective that can actually assist you or help you. Right? Miss Susan Q says, "Hi, Doc. What herbs, I think herbs. Sorry, oh good, I don't see it, Miss Q. What herbs would you recommend for building the immune? Okay, doctor. I think you made a mistake and type 3 there. All right, I was just trying to make sure I read it correct. There are a number of herbs that help significantly with building the immune system. Dandelion is one. There are a lot of teas that we do where we would include dandelion in the tea. There's a circulation tea that we have, which is also very good as well. That does a lot of work for building. That's the circulation regeneration tea. Very soon, we're going to have a woman's tea again, because we actually used to have a uterus and mammary tea, and then they discontinued making that tea. And then I came up with something that I believe the lady's going to like. It's going to help with fibroids. It's going to help with polycystic ovaries. It's going to help with painful menstrual cycle. It's going to help with a number of different imbalances that you have in the body. A number. So look out for that. Okay. Miss Kelisha Pahote says, good night, Doc. Does the Ioptics help with dry eye, astigmatism, and flashes in your eye? Yes, it does. Ioptics formulas are all natural eye drop. It does not have steroids in it. And it is primarily designed as an eye tonic. So it does a number of things in assisting with eyesight. Persons who have things like cataract, glaucoma, detached retina, they also get some very good results with that product as well. Okay, so the iOptics formula is in stock. Keep in mind now, when you get the iOptics formula, it is stored in the refrigerator. Even if you do not open it, put it in your refrigerator, and in use, also put it in the refrigerator. Make sure and shake it up. Be careful how you're touching it, because we had some situations where persons complain and actually realize that it's because of handling it badly that they actually may have contaminated the eye drop. So make sure your hands are clean. Make sure if somebody's putting in the eye drop for you, their hands are clean as well, and you handle it properly. Okay? Miss Ingrid Hannibal, are eggs high in cholesterol? You eat your eggs, eh? I always tell people eggs. They claim that eggs contribute to cholesterol, but with me, when they look at a lot of these studies that they have, that is not the case. I believe eggs are very healthy, especially the yellow of the egg. I'm sort of partial to common fowl eggs as opposed to the regular eggs, and that's because, of course, less hormones and those type of things inside of them. Okay, Miss Josephine Veronica Miller says, good evening. What do you recommend for elevated prolactin and menopause issues? Good question. The thing is, depending on how bad your postmenopause is, I would suggest an evaluation, which is your blood analysis and your magnetic resonance analysis. And the reason for that is that hormonal imbalance in your neighbor, hormonal imbalance in your sister, hormonal imbalance in your cousin, and hormonal imbalance is you is different. Not everything that works for everyone is going to work for you. Evening primrose, for example. Evening primrose, it have people who use it in the primrose for years and they're still sick. And it could have a lot to do with the brand that they use it in terms of the potency and the efficacy. But a lot of times, it's because of your situation. We carry a product known as Women's Formula, very popular product, very, very popular, always in demand. We have that in stock. We have prostate formula in stock. We have our silver formula in stock. So there are a number of things that we do have. All right. And we're working on your nerve restore. I know nerve restore. I am missing nerve restore right now because I love nerve restore with all. It really helps you. It really brings you to a place where you can actually work, you can think, you can handle a higher amount of workload mentally, psychologically. Your sleep is impressive. Good. So that's something that we looking at getting back shortly in stock. Okay, you're very welcome, Miss Rupchan. Miss Josephine Veronica Miller says, right. Good. So with that, I would recommend that that person does the blood analysis. At least come and get an evaluation. Let us fix your issues properly. Because let me tell you something. Menopause or postmenopausal issue is not nice. They're not nice. It's depression, serious mental illness, serious neurological problems, serious issue with sleep and that type of thing. Women, you all need to stop suffering on yourself and make up your mind to, it's not necessarily about the money, but it's about the money where you need to spend some money on yourself. Because if you leave yourself as is, you're going to end up in a mental institution. And I say that professionally and not, attempting to be facetious or condescending in any way. It is a very serious issue to deal with. Okay, so keep in mind you're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. Let me say, or give you our telephone numbers. That number for the Shogunas office is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Moon Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. That number for Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number for St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago, where we actually that telephone number for Tobago is 226-4553. That's 226-4553, as well as 312-4248. Okay, for online or international consultations, you can message us on our WhatsApp, which is 1868 Trinidad's area code, and that telephone number is 373-2388. Again, that's 373-2388. Okay, let me answer a question here on Miss Nikki Love 28. She says, "Good evening, Dr. Batson. Had an appointment with you, but ended up hospitalized and ended up, oh my God, with organ damage. Now can't walk. How can I keep my appointment?" Whoa. You end up with organ damage and you can't walk. Yeah, well, that's serious. The thing is, you could keep your appointment, or you just call the office and tell them that you had an appointment. Um, I've sort of restructured how I do my work now. Like, for example, this Wednesday coming, I'll be in Shogunas, and on Saturday as well, I'll be in Shogunas. So I suggest you could at least maybe call and see if you could get. But the thing is, you can't walk, you say. So is it that you have a wheelchair? Because what you could do, you could come to one of the offices. You could either come St. James, which is our ground floor, or you could come to Davie when I'm in those offices. I'll be in St. James, God's willing, on Friday. So my week this week would be St. James Friday, Shogunas Wednesday, and Saturday, please God. So you could take advantage of that. Okay. Let me answer a question. Precious Will says, "I usually tune into 99, which is Sky 99.5 after 9 on a Sunday morning, but haven't heard your program since before Carnival." Good. Yeah, we will actually be resuming that program, God's willing, at the end of March, or early April. And that's just because we just, rectifying some things there with the radio station and that type of thing. We're actually doing some changes in terms of the programs we're doing. And, we're doing some restructuring as regards to advertising and that type of thing. So we are here. We have not gone anywhere. Our office locations has remained the same. Our telephone numbers have not changed. Let me give you those again. The Shogunas number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Davie is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Davie. As I said, I would be in Shogunas this Wednesday and Saturday. So if you want to take full advantage of that and get your appointments to get your review with me, then take advantage of that telephone number. Of course, if you call now, there's nobody in the office. But Monday, please God, bright and early, someone will return your call. So get a jump, or to be first in the line, or closer to the beginning of the line, you can actually call either tonight or tomorrow, please God, and someone will be able to facilitate you for this Wednesday in Shogunas, or Saturday in Shogunas. Keep in mind that is a first floor office. So if you're coming to see us for the first time and you have a situation where you are immobile or you're not able to climb stairs because of a number of reasons, then I suggest you ask to have that appointment in St. James. You'll get it this week. Davie, my next day in Davie, I'm not too sure. But we will provide that for you guys. We actually going to be doing a lot of work with that South Clinic. Adding some things, some services and that kind of thing. A lot of new things coming, God's willing, this year. Miss Elizabeth Nandlal, my dear, she says, "Doc, I just tuned in. Doc, I over need Santul and Gil I to Gil, but that situation is going to be solved quite shortly. So just bear with us." Urta Young says, "Doc, what hours you will be in St. James?" No, what you can do, you could call the office. But I'm usually anywhere in the vicinity of 11 to like about 6, 7 o'clock in St. James, unless I give them an earlier time, which would be like 10. Right. I'm 10 more to start work at lunchtimes, depending, and that's sometimes because I had work from the day before that I needed to, fix and whatever the case may be, right? But we have the consultants there, and the reason why I have consultants is because I am one person and I cannot see everyone. I put systems in place. Systems work. People feel I always tell them that. So it's just a matter of using the system. There are persons who have never seen me and have came to our organization and gotten exceptional results to the point where they don't even want to see me again. It's all about time. It's all about effectiveness. It's all about efficiency, because you know how time is in this country, where traffic alone. So I try my best not to add to your waiting, because when you come to Batson Associates, you have to wait, and the wait is not because of delinquency. The wait is not because we want to put you to sit down to wait. The wait is because of the amount of things that we have to do for you. It's very thorough. So I tell people when you come into Batson and Associate, take a day off or take a half day or something like that. Remember, it's your health, you know. I am not going to do rush work and shortcut work. I don't work so. And people who work with me don't work like that either. You know, we try our best to put everything in place, work with you, and get the job done. Very, very important. Okay? Miss Pahote says, Doc, I'm coming to see Friday to see you. Okay, great. Looking forward to see you, my dear. Miss Lee, there's a question that well, sorry, I don't know if it's Lee. So Liegh Joseph. So I don't know if it's male or female. My apologies, because that name is sort of unisex, right? So you could always guide me accordingly. So I'm trying to keep my diet balanced. I have noticed that vegetarian butter contains soya bean. Yeah, you don't want anything with soya bean oil. You need to be careful. The thing is, what a lot of people need to do is read the labels. I'm a big advocate of reading your labels. Read your labels. The thing is, everybody complain about food, and a lot of people just go and buy things and you don't look at the label. You don't look at the amount of sugar. You don't look at the amount of sodium. So, you know what? When they tell you sodium, you know what sodium is? Salt. And you notice whenever you see sodium on a label, you always see sodium in milligrams and not grams. So there are drinks that have 240 milligrams of sodium, but that is essentially, if you divide that by 10, that is 24. And 24 divided by 4, because every 4 grams is 1 teaspoon. So when you divide 24 by 4, how much you get? 6. That's 6 teaspoons of salt. What the hell are you using or drinking something that has 6 tablespoons of salt in it? Teaspoons of salt, rather. The same applies to sugar. So when you see 60 grams of sugar per serving, it means for every 8 ounces, you divide 64 by 4, which would give you what? 15 and 1, 16? That's 16 teaspoons of sugar. How would you consume a beverage that has the equivalent of 16 teaspoons of sugar? That's madness. You going and you just asking diabetes. You opening a door and telling diabetes coming. All your soft drink drinkers, which I don't know what it is all they have with soft drinks, so that all they need to be drinking this thing like if it's water. It is not healthy for you. It does no good to you. If you don't know that now, it's sad reality for you. I am not going to mince words with you with that. The caffeine in that alone is ridiculous. The sugar in it is ridiculous. The preservatives, the coloring. I mean, really, you're trying to kill yourself? You'll be very successful if you do that. Miss Anissa Rahaman, she says, Good night, Dr. Batson. Nice to see you on. Thank you so very much. Miss Grace Williams. Miss Grace Williams says, Dr. Batson, it's been a while since I've seen you. Welcome back. Yes, my dear. It's a pleasure to be back. Miss Lee George says, I'm a young lady. Okay, good. And a present client. Okay, good. Already on uterine plus and women's farming as part of my fibroid regime. Okay, good. I'm glad that. How's it going so far, though? You can let us know, right? Precious V Hills said, I have a family member with back pain for the longest while. It comes and goes. The thing is, back pain could be something that you could easily fix in your house. It could be a situation with your mattress. Some people, you might just need a new mattress. Some people, the way you lie down or the way you sleep could also contribute to pain. Some people sleep badly. There are ways in which you can sleep. You can do some research on that. I know sleeping on your back is one thing. Pillows are in some cases more dangerous than anything else, especially if you sleep on like 3, 4 pillows. You actually put your back out of alignment. It's always good to sleep like on one pillow and sleep like on your side in a sort of fetal position. But they are different. Some people sleep differently. If you have a very big stomach, you can't sleep on your stomach, but then sleeping on your stomach is not really a good thing either, right? So, try and find out how you sleep. Some people sleep and push their hand and push your foot, so sometimes it could contribute to back pain. So those are some things that you could look at. Anything on a greater level, it could be some level of arthritis in the situation. It could be some level of maybe osteoporosis, some level of herniation in the disc. Excess acid is going to cause a lot of problems with your bones, your back, and that type of thing, because it significantly breaks down your bones. If the body is acid, it's going to pull calcium, which is a neutralizing mineral, to neutralize acid in order to bring more alkalinity to the body. You would hear people talk about acid alkaline, and people say that your body is supposed to be alkaline, which technically is incorrect. The body, your entire body can never be alkaline. That's just impossible, or it shouldn't be so. Because, for example, the pH of your mouth is slightly acidic, which is 6.4. You don't want the pH of your mouth to be alkaline. Then you're going to be in problems. You're going to have digestive issues. right? Your blood, you don't want your blood to be acidic. Blood is alkaline, right? And oxygenated blood, there's a slight difference in the alkalinity of oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood as well. Okay, good. Um, Miss Brenda James says, "Good evening, Dr. Batson. What do you have for visceral fat?" Visceral fat, we normally do a protocol for persons with visceral fat because of what visceral fat really is. We actually going to have some weight loss products as well that actually going to be focused more on dealing with visceral fat. And that's something that we're going to get shortly as well. Nerve restore, no, we do not have nerve restore. Sorry, we do not have nerve restore. I just mentioned that. Maybe you didn't hear us or you now join us. So no name, Noel, I know you want your nerve restore, and as soon as we get it, we're gonna get it to you. That's something that we're working on assiduously. I am out of nerve restore, and I'm not happy, right? So again, we're working on it. A lot of the circumstances were circumstances beyond our control. Believe me, and as I said, we're working to rectify the situation, and the situation is going to be rectified. We're going to ensure, as I always tell persons, call the office if you have a product that you want that is not in stock. So as soon as we get, you are going to be first in the line. Okay? Right. Carlene Torres says, "What can be done to stop grinding teeth while you sleep?" Well, grinding of your teeth, again, is a neurological disorder. That is a sympathetic, parasympathetic, autonomic nervous system challenge. It also could be an indication of mineral deficiencies in the body as well. So it might be an evaluation that is needed. Keep in mind that special that we have with the blood and scan, which you can actually take advantage of. So what you can actually do is if you go to our office on Wednesday or you go to the office anywhere in the week between Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, for example, in Chagonas, where it is not too busy, then your file or I can review you on Saturday coming. So that's actually a good idea. That's what the front desk usually do. So it makes it easier. So when you come, my evaluation or my re-evaluation is never that long. I mean, maybe I might have reports to look at, but I've been doing this a while. So I'm quick on my feet. I don't do halfway work. I don't do half pick duck, but I'm going to ensure that I evaluate you properly and that my consultants or the consultants rather who work with me evaluate you properly. So it's a win-win situation. So if you know you're sick, and believe me, I say this, yes, we're going through some little challenges with our products and whatnot, but as life is not us alone, we believe in a lot of people because customs in Trinidad right now, they just, yeah, right? So we working. But if you're sick and you really want help, just recently I did some reviews for some clients on Saturday here, this Saturday in Shogunas, and we had some really good results. And watch me, these were people who had really, watch me, without saying too much of the client business, this particular client came to us who had serious inflammatory condition. It was serious. They had a history of a lot of inflammatory issues. And the thing is, they came to Batson and Associates, excuse me, and they followed the regime that we gave them. It's very simple. One or two products. It was like about 5, 6 products to take. And watch me, the results that this person got is astronomical. I'm not asking you. Let me tell you something. Batson and Associates has a reputation like no other. Like no other. Yes, we do have wheatgrass in St. James. Keep in mind that that product is not a tea. You don't use that product with hot water. I just say that product is to be mixed with room temperature water. So it's not a tea, it's a sachet. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. If it's the wheatgrass powder, then we do have in stock. That's the one with the roots and the grass, which I specifically like because the B17 in that is much higher. And as a result of that, it's a very good anti-cancer product. Miss Gloria Edwards, a pleasant good evening to you. Do we have Fountain of Life in stock? No, we do not, but we shall be getting that shortly. That, of course, is one of my favorite products. I love it. When I had the cold really bad, I used that. That was one of the products that actually helped me. It's very good for your immune system. It's also exceptionally good for your immune system. It's very good for circulation. It's also very good for wound healing. It actually accelerates natural healing in the body. So that's something you could also. We have like people who have problem with wounds and diabetic ulcers and venous ulcers, we actually do those type of therapies actually to heal those things faster. Okay, oh my, you're mixing it in hot water. No, my dear, you're not hot water. Room temperature water. Okay, so going forward, that's what you do. Okay, my dear. So again, you are listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. This evening discussion, we are doing a question and answer. Of course, we're discussing hypertension as we go along. We are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson Associates Trinidad. And on TikTok, we are Batson and Associates. Our telephone numbers and our office locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks Building. That is Money Talks Building in Montrose, Chaguanas. That telephone number for Chaguanas is 222-8261. Again, that's 222-8261. 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Mooch Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That number for Debe is 223-7515. Very soon, we're going to be actually having our health symposiums, which we're going to start back doing those. We have to do one in Port of Spain. Debe has to get a next one. Chaguanas also has to get one as well. So those are things that we're going to be working on quite shortly. Now that Christmas is finished, now that Carnival is done, we in the Lenten season. A lot of people are more focused. So, not that I'm saying that you have to be a carnival person to be mixed up in the thing, eh? It's just sometimes even the road alone, in terms of the traffic for Christmas alone, the road was horrible. So, a lot of people wait after those times to really do what they need to do so that they could, reach getting, that type of thing. Okay, good. Miss Michelle Chris Brits Charles. She says, good night, Dr. Batson, and everyone on your live. Do you have inflammation formula? Yeah, you put information, my darling. It's inflammation, but I know what you mean, right? But I just saying, okay? Inflammation formula. No, we do not have inflammation formula in stock. That actually finished on Saturday. We had. So we will get back inflammation formula shortly, like maybe in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, God's willing. So again, you could just call the office. That product is a very, very good product. I mean, all of our products are good products, but there are some that really stand out. And inflammation formula was a product that was done by myself, and it was done deliberately to address just that inflammation. People who had a lot of problem with joint pain, back pain, waist pain, your head hurting you, something always hurting you. Very, very good product. Okay, Miss Michelle Chris Brits Charles, a long name girl. Miss Leah Joseph, she says, is Omega HTC back in stock? No, we do not have that as yet. We are still waiting on the supplier, but we should have it in about a week and a half. Miss Janelle Campbell, what do you have for blurry eyes? Eye optics formula. We also have IT, and there is a new IT that we actually get. And we're getting a lot of new teas, and those teas are specific to a lot of ailments and issues. So I promised, I was actually doing some work to actually develop and put together some really nice teas for you guys. Circulation regeneration was just a chip of the iceberg in the amount of teas that we're going to actually start back bringing, and new ones. I'm going to do a lot of new teas because I always believe in improving, and I always believe in better in your best. And we have so many persons who want help. And it's as simple with a nice cup of tea you could drink in the morning, and in a month time you feel better. I mean, you can't ask for much things, right? Okay. Miss Jenry said, good evening, Dr. Batson. Did you all get back the Santulan? Last I checked, it did not have. No, we do not have Santulan in stock, my dear. We are waiting. We should have it quite shortly. Quite shortly. All right. We actually had some word on that, and we just, are waiting some things to have certain things organized. Okay, very good green tea that does so much for the body. Okay, Miss Gloria Thomas Lowe says, did you get bad headaches with hypertension? Do you get? Yes, Gil. And if you have any headaches, that is as a result of bad hypertension. That is serious, because it could mean that you are having a stroke or you have gotten strokes before. Okay. No, says, Doc, how do we drink all different tea at one time? Well, the thing is, usually we have the teas, so we have like prostate tea, we have kidney tea. So what we normally do when we recommend the teas, we recommend a tea for the morning and the evening. Now, keep in mind, based on your schedule, if you can only drink one cup of tea, don't fuss up yourself and argue. If you have prostate, you take 2 bags. This is how I drink my tea. I take 2 bags, I put it in a large cup, I don't like them mini small nonsense cup. I find that's wasting the time. So a nice big cup, you put 2 tea bags, you throw in your hot water. If you want a little honey, you put a little honey mix, and you use. And I use back those tea bags maybe like twice, and that's my tea for the day. So you can do it like that, and then the next day you could do liver tea, or you could do circulation, or you could do heart. You don't have to mix the teas. The wild crafted teas that we carry, like the circulation regeneration, those teas are already mixed. So it's just to take some, put it in the hot water, or put it in one of those things where it doesn't go down. But I like all my bush to mix up in the hot water, and I like to feel the natural experience. I must be drinking tea and straining thing with my teeth. That's what I like, right? I like to get, if I could swallow some of the pieces too, I do that. That's fiber. Good. So that is something that you can look forward to. David Scobie. Hey, Mr. Scobie, sir. Great night, Dr. Batson. Do you carry any protein? I exercise a lot. And can you recommend a clean protein? Yes, Mr. Scobie. We actually do usually carry proteins. COVID sort of did a number on our supplier. So we actually have new suppliers now. And yeah, we have some really clean protein. I mean, whey protein you can use. There's a lot of argument whether you can use whey. I mean, the extensive research that I have done on whey protein, it is good. It does help. Protein in a diet is going to actually give you a lot of assistance with a number of things, making you stronger, strengthening your bones. I strongly recommend it for women as well, because people believe that you could only or should only take protein if you're working out. But you have to understand protein is what? Protein is a macro nutrient, not a micro. So it means you need protein in large amounts. The thing is, your body could only, metabolize protein or a certain amount of protein within a window of time. So digestion is very important, right? But that doesn't change the fact that it's something that you should have in your diet, especially older persons. The problem with a lot of persons when they get older, they believe that, I don't know, they're close to death, so they just shouldn't take care of themselves. And that is wrong. I believe the older you get, the better you should take care of yourself. Because some people look at it like, even children, like, they shouldn't take care of their parents because they're old and they were dead just now, so they're just wasting money. Excuses, not your money. That's their right. And the thing is, if you really understand nutrition and diet ethics, as your parents or people who you take care of get older, you should take better care of them in terms of supplementation, diet ethics. When I tell people that the world generally knows nothing about nutrition, I mean that from the depths of my heart. They know nothing, absolutely nothing about nutrition. I do not argue because I tell persons I'm not in the politics of medicine. I try not to be politics of anything, right? I really, because I have a kind of I have a low tolerance for strippiness, so you wouldn't find me in those nonsense, right? I am, a professional. I am very good at what I do, exceptionally good. Anybody who comes to me, I do not like I do not like to fail. Although failure is a part of life and failure teaches you lessons, but when I'm dealing with patients and clients, failure is not an option. It is not an option. You come to us for poor circulation, we're going to help you. The problem with a lot of persons is that they may not be able to afford. And let's just talk about this quickly because money is always a consideration in anything. There's a economic consequence to every and anything. I am clothed here. I want a shirt. I want a vest. I have pants, jeans, socks, underwear. Everything here I have to pay for. Right? There's an economic consequence to everything. I have to go to the barber, this beard. I have to take a mark. I have to go and see about my hair in terms of my loctician and that. Everything is an economic consequence. Every single thing. The car that you drive, right? If you have to send your children to school. So it's just a matter of now understanding that you need to prioritize. And believe me, I have had patients who come to us and they didn't even spend $500 and they got really good results. It's not a matter, you have to understand. That's why I always, whenever I do my programs and I end my programs, I tell persons if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you listen, if you already understand, take that in. If you think health is expensive, try sickness. And I also say, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. You know why? There are a lot of patients who have diseases, i.e., diabetes and hypertension, and they are ignorant to a lot of facts. Ignorant. So we're not even talking about what your doctor say and what this say and that one say and all that nonsense. We're talking about you as an individual as regards to your knowledge. Some people don't even test their blood pressure. Some of y'all don't even test your That's okay for now. Excuse me. Some of y'all don't even test your blood sugar. So you're ignorant to the fact, or you're ignorant of your numbers. And if you're ignorant of your numbers, you cannot, you will not, you shall not get better because you can only manage what you measure. Anything that is of value requires what? Maintenance. I always tell people that the vehicle that you carry or the vehicle that you drive, if you do not maintain your vehicle, if you do not do your routine maintenance, your 5,000 kilometers, and your major maintenance every 20,000 kilometers, the people who you bought the vehicle from are going to void your warranty because you did not keep your word and honor the contract to maintain the vehicle. Therefore, anything goes wrong with it, that is not their fault. You have voided your warranty, and as a result of that, um you have not honored your contract, and therefore these people are no longer responsible for your vehicle. The same as your body. When last you serviced yourself? When last you took a liver detox? When last you took a 7-channel detox, kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs? When last you did some exercise? When last you did those things? When last you changed oil for your car? I sure all you change your oil for your car. I always tell persons, your body is like a vehicle. There are certain things that your body or should be in your body, certain foods that you should eat, certain things you should intake. If, for example, you drive a vehicle that requires premium gas, would you put diesel in your gas tank? My vehicle is a diesel vehicle. You know why they put those signs outside of your gas tank? So that the mistake is not going to be made. It is supposed to be a reminder to anyone that is literate who can read, who's in that gas station, because sometimes you might go in a gas station and you don't pay gas. You might have a friend who went to their pipe breaker. They can make a mistake. So it's there as a reminder because of how serious the matter is. Because if I put super in a diesel vehicle, what's going to happen? If we put diesel in a vehicle that's supposed to get super, diesel in a vehicle that requires premium gas, what's going to happen to the vehicle? You can't move from that gas station. I tell you so. And I am not a mechanic. You're going to mash up the car. So think of the nonsense that we put in our bodies, these saturated fats, sugars. Now we know you're going to break Chris a little while. Christmas just went. I drink puncha creme. I only drink puncha creme once for the year. I must just drink about 2 bottles of puncha creme for me personally, because I like puncha creme, but I only drink it for Christmas because that's milk. I'm not going to interfere. I take my cleanse. I'm not going to interfere that until the end of this year again. Excuse me. So it's a matter of having moderation, a matter of understanding, you know, to set boundaries as regards to what you eat, how much you eat, especially if you have a situation where you have diabetes, hypertension, that type of thing. But nutritionally, what are you missing? And that is what Batson Associates is able to fix. Miss Camilla Ferdinand asked, do you have anything for acid reflux? Lots of products. Lots of products. Some of them we have out of stock right now, like digestive balance, digestive restores. Those we're going to get very shortly. As I said, there are a lot of things we are waiting on. And our wait is not going to be too long again, God's willing. We just dotting some I's and crossing the T's and waiting on the authorities to do what they need to do. And we are, of course, speeding up the process. So, just bear with us a little bit. Miss Leah Joseph says, which teas would you recommend to help fibroids? I am presently using green tea. Green tea is actually a very good tea for fibroid. And there's a combination tea that we're going to be getting, very shortly, and that's specifically for fibroids. That's one of my piece of work there. I was actually working on it up to yesterday. I was taking a look at some different things that I needed to look at in order for us to finish that. Okay. No name Noel says, thanks. Can we mix them? That's the tease. I suggest you don't. You could, but just don't do it. I suggest you don't. There are certain teas that you can mix. Let me give you an example. No name Noel. And when we get these in stock, that's something I could do. So, for example, we have the circulation tea bag, and a lot of people could mix the circulation tea bag with the wild crafted tea, which is the circulation regeneration tea. So in those cases, you could maybe do a little mix, that kind of thing. But generally, I don't recommend, for example, you put liver with prostate. Use 2 tea bags, use it, get full value for your money. You draw steep, rather, as we say, locally we say draw the tea, but it's really steep. Steep the life out of the tea bags. If you see how white is much white is real, when I finish with them tea bag, they have nothing inside it. Because it's a high quality tea, so it's a little on the pricier side, but it's value for money. The teas actually work. Okay, good. So Michelle Chris Bridge Charles says, my husband had knee pains and the inflammation formula worked wonders. Okay, good. So I'm glad to hear that, Miss Bridge Charles. I'm very glad to hear that your husband got some help. That product is really impressive with pain. Miss Josephine Veronica Miller says, night doctor, can an elevated ESR and CRP be reversed? Of course it can. We have done that on numerous occasions. I had a client who came to us and their ESR was 80. When we were finished with them, it went down to 7. And we have numerous other examples with persons where the ESR started going down and they started seeing improvement and that kind of thing. Because when you have high levels of inflammation in your body, you are going to be in a lot of problems. Okay? So that's Miss Josephine Veronica Miller. Keep in mind, I'm in the Shogunas office this week, Wednesday and Saturday. So this week you can actually, like one of the less busy days, you could come here, wait, wouldn't be too long, which is like Monday, Tuesday. That's how this week I'm referring to. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And you can actually now, have your review on either the Wednesday or the Saturday. If it is you do the bloods anywhere, before with the consultant. Okay. Miss Frederica Joseph says, good night, Dr. Batson, an associate watching from New York. Nice to see you. Thanks for everything. Dr. Batson, do you have eye drops at your Shogunas branch? Yes, we do have eye optics formula at all our branches. I think the only office that is supposed to get is Tobago, and we will be dealing with Tobago, God's willing, this month coming here. Okay, guys. Miss Sharon Theodore, questions. Dr. Batson, are you seeing my question? Where is your question, Miss Sharon? Oh, Sharon Theodore. Okay, good. I now see it. Good night, Dr. Batson. My little nephew has a little bit of a cold. I have silver formula. He is 3 years. How much silver do I mix for him? 3 years and he have the cold real bad? Or a little bit, he said? Give him a tablespoon. A tablespoon in about 1 ounce of water. And give him that every day for about 2 weeks. And he should be good. The good thing about silver with mineral formula is that it does not affect children. Silver is so potent that they actually use silver to sterilize surgical equipment. Do the research. Understand what I'm saying? Because silver is anti-inflammatory, it is antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. Silver will kill any pathogen that it comes in contact, any one of them. You know what is a pathogen? Pathogens are either bacteria, virus, fungus, protozoa, or worms. So it behaves like a natural antibiotic without the side effect. Now, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to use antibiotics, but a lot of people abuse antibiotics. Doctors overprescribe antibiotics. The World Health Organization is actually looking, there's all kind of things they're trying to solve that problem right now because we have a lot of bacteria now that are actually antibacterial, antibiotic resistant bacteria. And those are very dangerous, which is why, as I tell people, COVID didn't go anywhere. COVID's still here. The common cold that we are accustomed having is not the common cold again. That Sahara dust is a different kind of Sahara dust. The air is very dirty. As a result of the Sahara dust, you have a lot of more pathogens in the air because of COVID and because of COVID being there and so many other things. So, immunity is very, very important. Okay? Let me come down here. Miss Julia Harewood says, when will the 2 for the price of 1 detox up? Or when will be the you're gonna have to call the office, Miss Harewood, to find out about that. I believe that promotion is going until I think Saturday coming, which is the I'm gonna have to verify that with the office. But once you call them, they will tell you because they know. I believe it's until the 2nd or the 3rd of March. I'm not sure though, but you could check back. Okay. You're welcome, Miss Theodore, Miss Josephine, Veronica Miller. What's the cost for the first visit? Well, usually we don't call price. I don't call price when I'm doing these programs or when I'm on the radio, and that's just because I don't want to come across as a hustler. All right. So it's just a matter of just calling the office and find out. All right. Please, the telephone number, of course, for Shagonas is 2228261. That's 2228261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. That number for Debe is 2237515. That's 2237515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number for St. James is 2208113. That's 2208113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number for Tobago again is 373-2388. Again, that's 373-2388. You're welcome, Miss Veronica Miller. Honey Bay says Cindy Hoyt. Yes, Cindy, darling, I'm right here. Honey Bay, resurrect girl. Pastor Ann Rodriguez. She says, "Good night, Doc. My dad is 88 and is having constipation problems. What do you recommend?" Ooh, 88 and constipation, boy. The Alkagen water that we carry is very good. What I would also recommend, Santulan is also a great product as well. The mineral formula, silver with the mineral formula can also help that situation. The advanced chlorophyll is also very good as well. So those are some things that you could look at to assist with that situation. Okay. Usually older persons tend to give problems. I don't know why people, when they reach a certain age, they don't like to drink water. I don't understand. I'm not in my 60s or 70s or 80s as yet, so I don't know. And I hope when I reach that age, I would still have the enthusiasm to drink the type of water that I'm accustomed drinking. Because water is important. Hydration is every single thing in the body. I always tell persons that. Okay. So you could check out that Miss Ann Rodriguez. Okay. Leah Joseph says, "Do you know where to get goat's milk that does not that's not odor filled and affordable? I have been looking for a dairy alternative, but only found one brand that I found in the grocery, and they are out of stock. Goat milk. That's something that we're gonna look at too as well. Because I mean, the thing is, I am anti-dairy to an extent. Goat milk you can use, but you shouldn't use it in too much. Yes, it's much healthier than the cow's milk. The fat content is like maybe half or even less than that. So it does have some good health as compared to the others. But again, be careful. You're gonna have to look because I'm not too sure. I'm really, really not too sure of what they have on the market currently. But you could always do some research. All right. Mr. Hayden Stewart says, "Hi, Doc. Inquiring for my sister from Texas about pancreatic cancer." Okay, what do you want to know, Mr. Stewart? What do you want to know? You want to know how to treat it? You want to give me some more information, please? Ms. Brenda James says, "I work out 3 days a week and my stomach still bloated. Do you have anything for stomach?" Yeah. That's things like your restore digestive balance. You could always call the office and get some information on that. We also have a stem cell digestive, which is also very good as well. I always try to have a lot of products for digestive because so many people have digestive problems. And of course, your gastrointestinal system is the most important system in the body. Serious but collected says, "When will you be in Port of Spain?" Well, I don't ever be in Port of Spain per se. When I'm in the West, it's in St. James. That's Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number for St. James is 2208113. So St. James number is 2208113, and that's usually a Friday appointment. If I'm giving them makeup days, I will give them also either a Monday in the month or a Saturday. I sort of kind of move around to make my life easier and make your life even easier. Okay, so that number for St. James again, 2208113. Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number for Tobago is 2264553. That's 2264553. Great. Miss Hazel Ward asked the question, "Good night, Dr. Batson. Could you explain the benefits of nitric oxide on the body and how should we take it?" Okay, quickly. So nitric oxide is a gas that is actually produced in the body. Usually the precursor for nitric oxides are some form of not protein rather, but amino acids. So things like L-citrulline, those type of things are actually precursors to nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is vitally important to your cardiovascular system. It super-proofs the cardiovascular system. So it's very good for persons who have problems with hypertension. Excuse me. It's also very good for persons who have serious problems. Men, for example, erectile dysfunction, because without nitric oxide, you cannot get and maintain an erection, men, right? So that's a lot of the benefits that is it. How you should take it. You have foods that have it. There's supplementation as well. We have a very good product. The only thing is nitric oxide on the market is costly because it is a costly supplement to produce. So when I say costly, you know, it a little more on the pricier side, right? But it is worth the money. I have had persons who have come to us with serious issues, and when they redo their echocardiograms, great improvement. The cardiologist sometimes tell them when you don't need to come back here until next 2 years or something. That's just to tell you the level of improvement that these clients would have gotten. Okay. Mr. Hayden Stewart says, I'm in Philadelphia. Can you give me a WhatsApp number to contact you? Okay, no problem, Mr. Stewart. Our WhatsApp number for international clients is 868, which is Trinidad area's code, and it's 373. That's 373 2388. Again, it's sorry, 73, too much three in this number, 2388. Okay, Mr. Stewart, I hope you got that. If you didn't, you could let me know again. Ms. Vidya Abdul asked the question, tell us about the benefits of stem cell digestive. Any stem cell, anything I like. And you notice I'm doing my hands so because that's just maybe the level of excitement or me expressing the level of excitement. Because I believe in stem cells. That's something that we're going to be doing in bigger and better in the very near future because of what stem cells does. So very quickly, stem cells are base cells. What does that mean? So all cells in the body, so your heart cell and your kidney cell is not the same type of cell, right? The cell you have in your pancreas and the cell in your thyroid is not the same type of cell. The cell in your eye and the cell in your bone is not the same type of cell. So all cells, before they specialize, so before a kidney cell was a kidney cell, or a heart cell was a heart cell, or a bone cell was a bone cell, or an eye cell was an eye cell, it was in fact a stem cell, which is an undifferentiated cell. Now, we still have stem cells in our body. However, a lot of our stem cells are not dead or not present, but they are dormant. What's the meaning of dormant? So dormant means there is no activity. So there are things that you can actually do to make those stem cells active. And what the body is now going to do is utilize the stem cells in places where you need it the most. And that is why I love stem cell products. Love them, love them, love them. I use them for myself personally for a number of reasons. So it really does help. Okay. Lee Joseph says, I have heard that tea tree oil and lavender oils are hormone disruptors. Are there any truth in this? Yes, it is. The thing is, different oils would affect different people differently because oils, like everything else, has frequency and energy. So based on your personality, there are certain oils that wouldn't agree with you. And a lot of people do not know that. And then you have heated oils, or you have oils that are more heated, and you have oils that are cooling oils. So you find that in using, you have to be very careful in using certain type of oils. Valerian, for example, is a very excuse me. Valerian is something that I'm very careful in recommending for persons because valerian tends to not agree with a lot of people. Valerians can make people very hyper. Yes, it is recommended for sleep, but in some instances, it can actually have a more aggressive effect on persons. So it's not an oil that I would recommend for a lot of persons. Lavender oil as well. And then, of course, you have to look at your efficacy and your potency. But lavender oil is an oil that you have to be very careful with. It does not affect everybody else the same. Oils and essential oils is something that we're going to be doing in the near future, God's willing. But that is our next whole category of medicine. Because again, I am the type of person who, when I do things, I do it properly. And I don't like to have to go and repeat myself and do it over. So, when we do it, we're going to do it and do it well. Okay, so you guys can look forward to that. June Jatton is saying, what is a heart murmur? A heart murmur is basically your heart has a certain way that it beats, And people who have heart murmurs, their heart don't beat the way that it's supposed to beat. Now, there are a lot of people who can live with heart murmurs, but there are things that you can do to correct the situation, improve the situation. Exercise is one, as well as supplementation with things like a nitric oxide. I'm very brand specific. People who know me would know that. Um, and the reason for that is that you're looking at efficacy and potency, which is very important. There are some things that they tell you it have A in it, and this time it don't have nothing. I am not in those games, okay? No name Noel says I am diabetic. Do do I eat a lot of bananas? No, you need to be careful. Bananas are one of the fruits that tend to be sweeter. So you should be careful if you are a diabetic. I'm not saying not to eat banana, but if I was you, what I would do is when I'm using banana, either in a smoothie or if you're eating it just maybe do it like once for the week. Or if you're putting it in a smoothie, you add something green in it, maybe some sort of green powder, wheatgrass, something like that to the mixture. I always tell diabetics to use greens when you're using fruits. Good? Because it would help with the fiber, the soluble fiber, the insoluble fiber. It would actually help your body to break down that glucose and metabolize the glucose properly and not give you those type of issues. Okay? Uh let me see. Nicola heard as regards to thoughts on valerian root for women. As I said, it is good, but it does not affect everybody the same. And there are certain herbs. Does valerian fall in that category of a heated herb, boy? I'm like maybe about off the top of my head, I would say yes. But what I do know is that it does not affect everybody the same. It doesn't. And I don't like hit and miss things. If I'm using, like for example, if I have a woman who has a problem or a female who has a problem, I would quicker use women's formula, which has a number of other herbs that are more balanced. Because you always try to balance it so that in the event that someone uses it and they have a lot of inflammation in the body, because there's something known as healing crisis. And healing crisis is when toxins try to leave the body faster than the body can actually accommodate it or tolerate it. And that happens to a lot of persons. So a lot of times you might use something like a simple omega-3, 6, 9, and you get bad headaches or you get a rash. That don't mean the omega not good for you. That doesn't mean you're allergic to it. What it means is that you are going through healing crisis. You do not have sufficient water or sufficient hydration in the body. Very important. Okay. Miss Cyrus says, what can I do? My feet are always swollen, really large. No, that's not a good thing, darling. Sorry, ma'am. That's not a good thing. If you have extremely swollen feet, I always tell persons, swollen feet most of the time is a serious circulatory problem. And let me tell you something, that is serious beyond serious. If you're having swollen limbs, especially your ankles, for extended periods of time, you are in a lot of problems. You are playing with the devil. That's never a good thing, right? I always tell persons that you need to be proactive as opposed to being reactive. Most people are reactive. They wait until the whole hill, everything falling down on them, and then it's just like people with cars who don't take care of their cars. They wait until it's shut down, and what you get? A wrecker. Cars have ambulance, you know. The ambulance for a car is a wrecker. The ambulance for human being is just that an ambulance. A lot of people, when they reach that stage, is because watermelon flower. And when the physical body requires attention, the physical body rules. That's when medication comes in. That's when they get all the drugs in your skin, you know. When you go in the hospital and you have an infection, what do you think you're going to get? Antibiotics, normal antibiotics, oral antibiotics. You get an intravenous antibiotics. So if they hook you up and put that antibiotic inside of there, you know why? Because you are in an emergency, and the physical body in an emergency takes precedence over all the other bodies. The spiritual body, the supramental body, which is a subconscious mind, the mental body, which is a conscious mind, and the vital body, which is the energy body. When you are in harm, emergency, the physical body takes precedence, and that's where drugs and surgery comes in. They have no other choice in the matter. They're gonna sedate you if you excuse me, if you go to the hospital and they do a blood test and they look for cardiac enzymes and it is positive. You know what that meant? It meant you get a heart attack. What do you think they're gonna do? Is blood thinners, you're gonna get some Clexine intravenous or an injection, because the physical body requires the emergency or is in an emergency state. When you're done past that stage, and that's why I tell persons you have different doctors for different times of your life. And you'll understand why I do be in the politics. I don't have time for foolishness. I really do not have time for foolishness. And the reason for that is you need doctors for specific times. And if you don't know that well, God help you. But that's what it is. Okay. So Christina Collymore says, what can be used for LOTA? LOTA is an indication that your blood is dirty. So Santulan is what you're looking at, 7-channel detox, cleans and detoxify kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and the lungs. Call the office and let the office know. And what the office can do is, well, as soon as we get in stock, they call you. That number again for the Shogunas office, that Shogunas number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. And that telephone number for Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number for St. James is 220-8113. Again, that's 220-8113. This Friday, St. James. Wednesday and Saturday, Shogunas. Shogunas number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Tobago is the triangle building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number for Tobago is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. And for international consultations, you can call 868. That's 868. That's the WhatsApp number. 868-373-2388. Okay, guys. Let me see. King Lover. Pleasant good night to you. Pinky B. Walker says, what you have for pus cells in low sperm count? Do you all do delivery of medicine? Also, Pinky B. Walker, you're asking if we delivery. Okay, so let me see. What you have for pus cells in low sperm count? You're not trying to understand. We're asking me, you know. All right, so here what we're gonna do. Let me be the devil's advocate here. So I'm just assuming that you're asking me what is it that we have for women as it relates to the sexual function. That's what you're asking me. And then what we also have for low. No. Here what to do for me. Pinky, ask over that question. You have me a little lost there. All right. And yes, we do delivery. Okay. Frederica Joseph says, Dr. Batson, my friend told me I should not eat more than 2 eggs daily. What is your opinion? Thank you. The thing is, egg is a rich source of protein. It's also a rich source of cholesterol because there's healthy cholesterol. Egg is also rich in something called choline, which is also very good for your eyes, your brain. Me personally, I would say if you are somebody who are physically fit, you go to the gym, you do a lot of what they call that type of thing, boy. Not isometrics now, where you do resistance training, then your egg intake could be a little on the higher side. Eggs are very healthy. But like with everything else, there's some moderation. But as I said, depending on your lifestyle, and if you're a person involved in sports, if you're maybe a little older, because eggs are actually good for your eyes as well, right? Then you can consume it. Okay, so Pinky B. Water says pus cells in men low sperm count. Just now, you went and send me. You send them on the internet here. Let me check something quickly. Because after God is Google, and of course, I know a lot, but I don't know everything, right? This is also a learning experience for me. Right. So pus cells in sperm refer to white blood cells found in man's semen. These cells are part of the immune system and play a crucial role, right, in protecting the body against infections. However, when they appear in large quantities in semen, it can raise concerns about male fertility and overall reproductive health. Oh, I got you. All right, so the man with low sperm count, and the doctor said that he has pus cells in his. Okay, good. So pus cells are actually white blood cells. Okay, good. So it is an indication, if it is in high amounts, is an indication that the body is fighting some sort of inflammatory condition. So yes, we can correct that. I've had clients who came to us with very, very low sperm count. I actually have a testimony from a man some years ago that he came to us. He had a bad problem with sperm count, and then after that, he had 3 children. So it means that what we gave him work, right? He was a great advocate of us. He recommended a lot of persons to us. So we can't help in that situation, Miss Walker. What you may have to do with that mail, and I hope the person is not shy, because men have a tendency to just ridiculous. Take better care of themselves. We can fix that, but you're gonna have to do the blood analysis. You're gonna have to do the scan, especially if it is well. There are a number of things we have. We have a male formula, prostate formula. We have a male tea as well. That is what that we waiting a lot of our teas, right? So that we have to get in stock. Our nutrient dense greens, silver with mineral formula, because it means there's some inflammation in the body. Okay. Dr. Batson, is it okay to eat more than 2 eggs a day? Frederica, what it is with you and these eggs, girl? You like me, you like plenty eggs. As I said, once it is you are active, I would suggest, if you're someone who doing working out, you're in the gym, you do your little resistance training, you may not necessarily be in the gym, you're doing a little workout, you reach a certain age. I believe if you use 2 a day, I wouldn't use more than 2 a day. If you're like me and you're going in the gym and you're lifting iron and you want to take, or then in a case like that you use more, because it means your protein, which you're using the eggs for, is also going to be very good. Okay, so that's where that is concerned. So keep in mind. Let me see. Miss Trisha Pascal said, Dr. Batson, welcome back. We have POV has joined us. We also have, let me see, I was trying, there was a question there. Mr. Sean Alford. Oh my gosh, my apologies. Sean Alford actually joined us. Good to see you again. Yes, that is my very, very good friend. Who we have some work to do this year. I'm just dotting my I's and crossing my T's, Sean. So many things I have to deal with. As regards to putting things in place for us to do that, but we're getting better, and we get in there quite shortly. So pleasant good evening to you, sir. That company that actually has those great products, collagen. I'm a big advocate of collagen. But of course, you have A-class collagen, and it doesn't have just collagen. And this collagen actually has hyaluronic acid, and it is actually a digestive sort of situation where it breaks down easier, and the availability and the absorbability is much higher. So as a result of that, you tend to get better results. Okay, nice to see you again, Sean. Hope all is well with you. In addition to that, there was something somebody asked me about Port of Spain. Okay, when will you be in? Well, that's Friday. That's St. Well, as I said, not Port of Spain, but St. James, right? So in the West. Good night. What do you recommend for swollen feet for long-standing work hours? The circulation, there's a product we have called Balance Circulation. We actually have that in stock. Very, very good product for that situation. It helps significantly in dealing with persons with swollen feet. Okay. So, let me, of course, again say a pleasant good evening to everyone. We are live on our social media platform. You can actually share this live, tag us, share us, or rather, follow us, tag us, send a friend, send to a friend. That's what it is. So long I haven't done this. As I try to remember what was the sequences, but you all know what I mean, right? I'm gonna get it for you guys just now. Let me say, of course, again, those telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. That telephone number for Chaguanas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramson Wood Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. That number for Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number for St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago, of course, is like and share. Yes, sorry. Tobago is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. And of course, you can book your online consultations. Those telephone numbers for the online consultation is 868-373-2388. Remember, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. And on TikTok, we are Batson and Associates. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. Our Londonville office coming quite nicely. That office is going to be primarily cardiovascular, diabetes, stroke, orthopedic, right? So we're going to be dealing with a lot of people who have problems with walking, people with all that pain in your knee and your back hurting you, your shoulder hurting you, and all those type of things. Miss Frederica Joseph says, I work out 2 days a week and 2 days of Tai Chi. Well, yeah, use your egg, man. Miss Sharon Theodore, like us, tag 5 friends and share. Thanks so very much for that. Hyacinth Solomon says, Doc, is it healthy to eat only the white of the egg? Girl, eat the yellow egg, eh? Don't let it talk that nonsense for you. Eat the yellow. The yellow is what has all the nutrition in it, in any case. Okay, it's no Kishona Cyrus says, does Tobago have balanced circulation and how much or you need to see me first? No, you can use the balanced circulation. Tobago does not have, but Tobago gonna get their stock this month coming here for March, so most likely the first week in March. We have to organize and get everything up and that type of thing, but they will have, right? And you don't necessarily need to see us. Hopefully by that time we should also have circulation tea. I cannot wait, God, because that is a big tea that we have a lot of demand for. It works. It works. It really, really does work. Nerve restore as well. But as I said, just bear with us. Whatever you need, call the office. Let the office know. Let them list you. So as soon as we get it, they can call you. That's the problem. A lot of people just call or say they call and you don't call and let us know. And then when it comes and it finish, you're vexed. Okay, even though we're bringing in a lot, but still. You know, I want you all to get it. I want you to, especially people with nerve restore, because I know I'm missing my nerve restore as well. Okay, Lana John says, hi, Dr. Batson. I just finished with PRRT ACA radiation, right? Treatment for NETs, neoendocrine tumors. How can I detox from the radiation? I'll come and do a test for that, girl. We need to do a blood analysis on you to determine that level of oxidative stress, which you are going to have. High levels of oxidative stress in the body. You're going to have to do some serious cleaning up and some serious nutritional work. So I suggest that you really come and do the blood, that entire package that we have with the executive package, with the consultation, foot detox, live and dry blood, MRA scan, and your complimentary foot detox. Take advantage of that. But Jennifer Valentine, have a great one. Same to you, my dear. Keep in mind, as well as I said, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson Associates Trinidad. And on TikTok, we are Batson and Associates. That number for Shogunas, 222-8261. Keep in mind, I'm doing 2 days in Shogunas this week, Wednesday and Saturday, so you can take advantage of that. Day is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erin Main Road. The telephone number for head office, which will give you the number for all the offices, Shogunas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number for St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago, God's willing, we will see us next month. That number for Tobago, 226-4553. Again, that's 226-4553. Our international consultation number is, or WhatsApp, I should say, sorry, is 868-373. That's 868-373-2388. Lana John says, would you need CT scans? Here, bring the CT scans to me. Any test, whenever you're coming to us, nothing is useless that you have. In fact, I'm usually annoyed with people who would have had serious issues where they did CT scans, MRIs, and they don't even have copies of it. Now, I know when you go into the public system, it's very difficult to get your reports, but a lot of people do things privately. Your medical records, it's just that your medical records. Keep them, right? You could scan it, you could have it, keep it digitally, but keep it so that when you are called upon, it makes sense. Because I'll tell you something. I have learned, and I've, based on experience, the past 14 years of doing this, that a lot of doctors have a tendency not to give you reports. Get your reports. You know why? What one doctor said is good, and next doctor may not look at as good. I have seen people who came and brought reports to me and told me that the doctor told them they're good, and they were far from good. Far from good, and I'm not exaggerating. So let mind all the business. Okay? Miss Sharon Diado say I need Santulan, blood circulation, and CMOS. Yes, my dear. We have CMOS in stock. Your blood circulation and the Santulan we'll get for you shortly. Okay, guys? So as usual, it was great talking to you guys. I believe we had a lot of persons on this evening live. Next week, of course, we also going to do one as well for you guys in the evening. We should be resuming our radio program quite shortly. As I said, that's going to be the end, much God's willing. And of course, we have some new content that we're going to be providing, some new podcasts and whatnot we'll be doing. So stay tuned for those as well. Kristen Moore says, hi, Dr. Batson. Do you have Santulan in stock? No, my dear, we do not have, but we will get shortly. Make sure the office has your name and number so that they would be able to call you. As regards to the blood consultation, Miss Walker, you have to call the office to get that. That number for Shagonas again is 222-8261. Miss Hyacinth Solomon, I did saw you last year after the detox. I came alive. The detox, made overall change in my body. And Shakil, I hope you're noting these so that when we need to do what we need to do, we have these things, right? Marcia Letron says, good night, Dr. Batson. Good to see you live. I miss you. I'm always late. I am waiting for my teas. No problem, Miss Letron. Always a pleasure to have you. What's that, Shakil?
Oh, I was not going to tell them we have a special night program coming where you guys will be able to click a link and join Dr. Batson live to be able to get some questions answered. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we have some additional things that we bring in. You know, Shakil always diligent, always keeping us up to technology. Okay, so that's something that you can look forward to. So as usual, it's always a pleasure. It is now 9 o'clock, so I bid you guys farewell. Thank you, Sharon Theodore. I will try my best with God's help to reach home safely. And as usual, Kishona Cyrus says, thank you for being a blessing to Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so very much, guys, for listening. Thank you for having a little patience with us. I know when coming to your stock, you guys are thing, but you know, believe me, it's not you all alone this be getting. Like say my head this be like big so, like it want to explode, but such is life. To whom much is given, much is expected, right? So again, God bless. Remember those telephone numbers. Shagonas is 222-8261. Debe is 223-7515. St. James is 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough. That number is 226-4553. May God continue to bless you guys. Be safe this week. Make sure and say your prayers. Drive safe as you can. You and your family. And as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless you guys again. Stay safe. God bless. Take care, guys. Bye.